Have you ever looked around and paused and wondered just why on earth are so many people superstitious? Did you ever get confused by the process of evolution, which made us more capable over time but also allowed for superstition? Well, today is your lucky day because we are about to dive into this topic from an evolutionary perspective. We will solve that mystery of how otherwise intelligent beings can act in superstitious ways. Let's get started. Consider the following situation our ancestors must have faced while living out in the wild. Two members of a prehistoric tribe have decided to go foraging for whatever they could find in the forest by their campsite. Let's call these two guys Adam and Steve. Adam is the skeptical type and Steve is the more superstitious type. The two of them were not having much luck finding anything useful, so they had to keep going deeper into the forest. Adam was fine with that, but Steve wasn't. Steve insisted that there could be a tiger there, so they should return home. Adam was more of a skeptic and didn't see any evidence of any tigers yet, so he told Steve to not worry and keep foraging for supplies. As Steve was about to try and do just that, they heard rustling in the bushes. Steve yelled out, "Screw you, Adam, I'm going home," as he ran back to the campsite in fear. Adam was still not convinced. He was thinking that it could be anything that made that noise. It is important that he not return without more supplies for the tribe, so he decided to go check the bushes for whatever made that noise. He even got excited at the prospect of finding game he could hunt, maybe even a deer. I will stop the story here and ask you to think about how the story ends. Does Adam face his demise and get eaten by a tiger, or does he find some other game animal that could feed his tribe? The thing is, we know that both the endings are plausible and our ancestors must have faced both. But what about the very different implications of these two different outcomes? Whenever we face situations where there was no real danger, but some of us ran away, they might have missed out on some rewards, but at least lived to try another day. But the same cannot be said for situations where there were real dangers and some of us failed to run away. They got killed. To use our story as an analogy, the curious but skeptical Adams in our species got eaten at a higher rate than the superstitious Steves. People like Steve, who superstitiously assume agency and end up seeing patterns where there are none, always survive. This actually is very evident in other life forms too. Imagine a cockroach on one end of a room and a book falling from the shelves to the ground on the other end. The expected reaction is that the cockroach would behave like a Steve. It would run for its life, even though there is no real threat there. Assuming it is in danger and assuming that someone is out to get it or that loud noises mean bad things will happen is the trait that guarantees that this cockroach lives and reproduces and creates more like it compared to an Adam type of cockroach who gets killed and fails to support the production of more like him. What does all of this imply for our original question about evolution and superstition? Well, the ones who survive are key contributors to the evolution of a species, meaning that whatever type of creature survives gets to reproduce more. So the next generation of that species ends up resembling that type. It turns out that in our evolutionary history, this simple but powerful reality shaped our evolution and guaranteed that superstitious tendencies are rather common in humans. Those who were superstitious survived at a higher rate, and as such, more of humanity shares that trait. There are many other fascinating angles we could approach this subject from, but we are done for today. If you like this video and want to help me survive and compete against the superstitious types, please consider liking the video and subscribing. This has been the Scientalist. See you in the next video.